Hi, this is Daniel Hutchins, and today we're going to be doing another article discussion. And today's article discussion is some updates on Wonder Woman 1984. So Wonder Woman 1984 director Patty Jenkins has explained how 2020 would have changed the film. This was also from yesterday. With less than 3 weeks until Wonder Woman 1984 premieres in theaters and on HBO Max, anticipation for this return of Diana Prince to the DC Universe is an all-time high. So, Warner Bros. Is finally opening the floodgates on the movie, giving comicbook.com the chance to catch up with both actor Gal Gadot and filmmaker Patty Jenkins and discuss this sequel. And while the film was originally supposed to release last year, it underwent lots of changes because of the debacle we like to call 2020. So, Jenkins explained that no one is immune to the hardships of the year. Looking at her new film through the lens of 2020, the director has some new insight about this importance of Wonder Woman 1984. In quote, the only thing that we got to do in 1984 was talk about it and scream. I think we're in more nuanced time now, and we are starting to be aware of the mistakes we've made, explained director Jenkins. What was different about then was we were whole hog caught up in this dream with no accountability and nobody talking about how unfair the world was as much. And of course it was unfair, and unfair things were happening, but there was this belief that American successes would go on forever. So the idea of getting to talk about this into new extremes. Now we're in this confusing place of having to pay the price for the way we've been living and the things we've been ignoring. And that is interesting. She also added that, so I loved getting to do it and very much felt like we were getting to talk about this now. And her favorite thing about Wonder Woman is that we have a superhero book that stands for love and teaching love to mankind. That's why I feel like I could make 700 of these movies. There's nothing about this that's like, I'm sick of that. That's like life's journey for all of us. So learning how to be more loving and better to people. So it's like having a metaphor to talk about the challenges we are all facing. Trying to be better people is wild and wonderful. It won't be long before everyone can compare the glamour of the 80s to the drab times of the 20s. As Wonder Woman 1984 will premiere in theaters and debut on HBO Max on December the 25th. As we know as Christmas. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a bonus. Every new Warner Bros. Movie releasing on HBO Max in 2021. So in a truly unexpected movie, Warner Media announced today that all Warner Bros. Films will be landing in theaters in 2021 and will also be debuting on the stream service HBO Max on some date. So the studio announced last month that it would be releasing Wonder Woman 1984 with the strategy on December 25th. So with most of these fans assuming that this was a unique situation to ensure that as many people as possible could see the film that have already faced the numbers of delays from 2020. So while some of the 2021 films were originally slated to hit theaters this year, others have been aiming for a 2021 release in the first place anyway. So we've living in unprecedented times with calls from Creative Solutions, including this new initiative for the Warner Bros. Pictures Group. The chair and CEO of Warner Media Studios and Network Groups shared in a statement, no one wants films back on the big screen more than we do. That's true. So then we know that new content is the lifeblood of theatrical exhibition. But we have to balance, and we must balance, this with the reality that most theaters in the U.S. will likely operate at reduced capacity throughout 2021. That's been given though. So with this unique one-year plan, we can support our partners in the exhibition with steady pipeline of world-class films. Okay? So while also giving movie gurus who may not have access to theaters or aren't ready to go back to movies the chance to see these amazing and awesome 2021 films. We see it as a win for film lovers and exhibitioners, and we're extremely grateful to our filmmaking partners for working with us on this innovative response to these circumstances. Okay? So you can scroll down to see all the 2021 films that will be hitting HBO Max on the same day that land in theaters. So all release dates can be subject to change. Keynote, subject to change. So okay, the first one on that list is Mortal Kombat, January 15th of 2021. Next is The Little Things, January 29th of 2021. Followed by that is Tom and Jerry, March 5th of 2021. Followed by that is The Many Saints of Newark, March 12th, 2021. Reminiscence, April 16th, 2021. Godzilla vs. Kong, May 21st, 2021. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, June 4th, 2021. In the Heights, June 18th of 2021. Space Jam, New Legacy, July 16th. And then we have Suicide Squad, August 6th of 2021. The Doom, October 1st of 2021. King Richard, November 19th of 2021. Matrix 4, December 22nd of 2021. Those Who Wish Me Dead, 2021. Malignant, 2021. Judas and the Black Messiah, 2021. Cry Macho, 2021. So I'm going to do another bonus. So this is the second bonus that you guys are going to get. Okay, so for my second bonus, I'm going to be talking about The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian viewers give Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni the keys to Star Wars. This was also news from yesterday. So okay, some Star Wars fans are calling for Disney and Lucasfilm to give the Mandalorian creator, a galactic guru, the keys to the franchise. Okay, so in response to the acclaimed series now airing on Disney+, the Emmy-winning space western, which counts Lucasfilm's president and Avatar's and executive producers, has drawn inspiration from the creator himself, George Lucas, from his 1977 film that first transported audiences to a galaxy far, far away. Okay, so at 93% of Rotten Tomatoes, both the first and second seasons of Mandalorian tie in with the Clone Wars, which is the best rated Star Wars content since Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, making Favreau and Filoni the clear frontrunners, some say, for the creative leads of Star Wars. Okay, so then each episode of The Mandalorian continues to do Star Wars better than the films could. So you can just give Jon Favreau the keys to the franchise and we'll be better off. In this case, so writes one Twitter user in response to Chapter 14 of The Tragedy, scripted by Favreau and directed by Robert Rodriguez, which sees the long-missing Boba Fett back in live action for the first time since 1983's Return of the Jedi. Which I must say, when I saw that episode myself, I thought that episode was very, 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 very well written. So that's just me though. But anyway, the two creators have firmly cemented themselves not just as gifted storytellers, but more importantly, two creatives who've understood and understand and appreciate the essence of what makes Star Wars so special. And writes another Twitter user put them in charge of the entire franchise. They've earned it. Okay, so the cast of new characters blasted their way into the pop culture consciousness from the start of The Mandalorian. Among them, the eponymous armored bounty hunter Din Djarin, played by Pedro Pascal, and his four-strong founding Grogu, the instant internet sensation formerly known as Baby Yoda. Okay, so in Season 2, prequel-era fan favorites Bo, Caden Price, Katie Sackhoff, and Ahsoka Tano, Rosario Dawson, have joined a cast of characters that include such recent favorites as Grief Karga, Carl Weathers, and Moff Gideon, Giancarlo Esposito, who find that their stories intertwine with legends like Boba Fett. Okay, so Mandalorian's well-regarded reception from audiences and critics alike has came together after a mixed response to the mixed-screen Star Wars sequel trilogy, which has an average of 77% or a C+, when counting that the critics' scores of The Force Awakens was 92%, The Last Jedi was 90%, the Skywalker Saga finale, The Rise of Skywalker, was only at 51%. So for many of these, there's the appreciation towards Favreau and Filoni, who were consulting with Lucas and striving to make The Mandalorian feel akin to what George has done with his Flash Gordon and Akira Kurosawa influenced space opera. In a recent interview, Favreau said to Lucas, "We're DJs playing Beatles songs, he's the Beatles." When compared to the divisive Last Jedi, the penultimate installment of the 9-episode saga, it took a meta and auteur approach under writer-director Rian Johnson, who believes catering to fans was a mistake. The Mandalorian has drawn praise over the fan-first mentality expressed by Favreau and Filoni, and June Favreau said, "You have to listen to fans. Calling this relationship between the creator and the audience is a two-way street." So you always want to keep the core fans in mind, because they have been the ones that have been keeping the torch lit for many, many years. So he makes a good point though. So then over the summer, about his approach to Marvel and then to Star Wars, but these are also stories for young people and for new audiences. These are myths, and so you will always want to have an outstretched hand to people who might not have ever had that background. In February, then Disney CEO Bob Iger said the future of Star Wars is television. Paving the future, though, Favreau and Filoni have trended on Twitter over the weekend amid viral calls from the pair to write and direct everything Star Wars forever. Better than films, okay? So we also have Star Wars saviors. Kevin Feige of Star Wars. Well, this article on my phone actually is supposed to have pictures, but I can't pull up the pictures, so you're going to have to check it on the article, maybe for yourself, and I apologize. So then there's also the keys, A New Hope, Best Interests, Back to this Best. So now, new episodes of Star Wars Mandalorian Season 2 released on Disney Plus from Fridays. If you haven't signed up for Disney Plus, you can try it from there. Note, if you purchase one of these awesome independently chosen products above, you will earn small commission from the retailers, and they want to thank you for your support. Okay, so now I'm going to also do another bonus. Now I'm really on a roll today because, like I said, there is a ton of hot information I want to tell you guys. So the Russo brothers filming a new project with Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans next month. Okay, so this was also hot from yesterday. Earlier in the summer, it was announced that Joe and Anthony Russo were set to direct The Gray Man for Netflix, which is a spy thriller starring Avengers Endgame star Chris Evans as well as Ryan Gosling. Now it appears, though, that filming on the project is about to begin. During a double CXP panel, Joe Russo revealed that the film is set to begin shooting next month in Los Angeles, before he headed to Europe to give the show an expansive global scale. So we start shooting at the end of January here in LA, or Los Angeles as they say, and then we have some work overseas in Europe. After that, in the spring, Joe Russo said via Collider, he also revealed that the COVID-19 pandemic had not impacted where they planned to shoot the film. Okay, so that's pretty important. But then which he also described as a big global spy thriller. Okay, so we have an incredible team, and Netflix has been very supportive then. So he said COVID hasn't impacted the location shooting, and this is a big global spy thriller. So its intent is going to hit a lot of different directions and a lot of different locations. And we're still going to film in those locations. So we're excited about that because it's really important to all the fans that to the storytelling that we visit from these different locations. Based on the book of the same name by Mark Greaney, Joe Russo penned the script, which also got the polish from the Avengers Endgame writers, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. In the film, Gosling stars as a freelance assassin and former CIA operative Court Gentry, who is hunted around the globe by former ally Lord Hanson, played by Evans. The film is expected to see Gosling return for sequels, building out the whole universe and create a new franchise. So this intention is for it to be competitive with any theatrical, and the ability to do with Gosling and Evans is a dream for us, Joe Russo previously said about this project. And then this idea is to create a franchise and build out a whole universe, with Ryan in the center of it. We have all committed to this first movie, and that's got to be great for us to get a second movie, if all possible. But then there's also these master assassins under Gosling's characters that get burned by CIA, and Evans' character has to hunt them down. We have the great working relationship with Netflix again, so we go back almost 20 years with Scott Stubber. We formed AGBO to be an agnostic storytelling company where we figure out and kind of plan out the best platforms. We think that Netflix is the perfect place for this film. So if you're excited for The Gray Man, you can let them know in the comments. Okay? So now I'm going to do another bonus. So Star Wars creator George Lucas reveals why he decided not to make sequel trilogy. Okay, so this was also hot from yesterday. So many fans were surprised when Lucasfilm founder George Lucas decided to sell his company to Star Wars franchise to Walt Disney. But the godfather of the galaxy far, far away had good reasons for moving on. While people were curious about his version of Star Wars Force Awakens from the rest of the sequel trilogy, as well as what he'd do if the shows like Star Wars Mandalorian, if he's only available for a cursory set visit or some cranky critiques, Lucas has explained that it all comes down to the family, and that he has newer priorities for his future. Lucas has admitted that it has been difficult to give up the reins of the Star Wars franchise, especially after his work crafting prequel trilogies. But then he understood that he had a newborn child on the way, and the amount of time dedicated to this franchise would have taken away from that. So at that time, he was starting the next trilogy, and I talked to these actors, and I was starting to gear up. I was also about to have a daughter with my wife. It was 10 years to make a trilogy. Episodes 1 to 3 took from 1995 to 2005, said Lucas in an interview from Star Wars Archive in 1999 to 2005. I'd still be working on episode 9 in 2012 if I was 69. So the question was, am I going to keep doing this the rest of my life, or do I want to go through this again? But then he finally decided I'd rather raise my daughter and enjoy my life for a while. That's good for him, though, because, he's got family now. So Lucas added, I could have not sold Lucasfilm and gone somebody to run productions, but that isn't retiring. On Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I tried to stay out of the way, but I couldn't. I was there every day, even though the people and folks and friends of mine did their great work. It wasn't the same as me doing it, though, and if I was like being once removed and knew that probably wouldn't work there again, then that I'd be frustrated. As many fans know, Lucas only directed the original Star Wars film before passing off the reins to the sequels. He then returned to director chair for the entire prequel trilogy, which received mixed receptions upon fans everywhere with release, but has since been recognized for its cult popularity. So I'm one of those micromanager guys, and I can't help it, so I figured I could forego that, but enjoy what I had done, and I was looking forward to raising my daughter, he said. So also I wanted to build a museum, which I wanted to do, so I was thinking, if I don't do this now, I'll never get that done. I've spent my whole life creating Star Wars for 40 years, and giving it up was very, very painful, but it was the right thing to do. I thought if I was going to have a little bit more time to say about the next three, because I'd already started them, but then he decided they wanted to do something else. Okay, so things don't always work the way that you want them, but life is always like that, he said. So then Lucas seems to have made peace with the fact he's no longer in control of his franchise. That made him the billionaire, and while fans might like to see him back in a driver's seat, the maker has since moved on with his life and with his family. Okay, so that's very, very, very noble of him. So there's going to be another bonus. Wonder Woman 1984 gets new Twitter emoji ahead of Christmas Day premiere. Also hot from yesterday. Okay, so Wonder Woman 1984 will make its debut in theaters everywhere in United States as well as on HBO Max on Christmas Day. So December 25th, and with that to debut just a few weeks away, this upcoming film is getting a brand new Twitter emoji. The new emoji shared by #flags on Twitter as features the film's vibrant 1980 color scheme with a stacked version of this film's logo. The new emoji appears to be connected to the hashtags #WonderWoman1984, #WW84, and #WonderWoman. You check out what the emoji looks like for yourself on Twitter. Okay, so there's supposed to be pictures down below, but I can't look at them right now because for some reason the site doesn't have them up. But first reactions to Wonder Woman 1984 began hitting with the internet on Saturday, with many people praising this film, not just for its performance and stories, but for being one of the films that genuinely looks like it feels like it came from the 1980s, as was opposed to simply being set in the decade, which is something from the director Patty Jenkins, which told comicbook.com was exactly what she had set out to do. Okay, so that's exactly what I strive to do, she said, through a Zoom call with comicbook.com on Friday. I kept saying to everybody because it's funny. I was worried we weren't giving people enough 80s because the temptation is to go back to the 80s, haha, and make all these 80s jokes and put in 80s tracks, and I was like, I shouldn't have 80s tracks, because when you do that, you're automatically being self-referential. Whereas I say, you should not remember anything about a movie. But this should be as if you're going to a massive temple in the 80s. And that's completely authentic. So throw away the 80s part of it, it ends up being very 80s as a result. But then throw that away and you make a great movie. People are making all kinds of great and awesome movies, but I do miss those big, huge whole family films, Jenkins said. And I thought, why not seize the day on the heels of a successful film where they'll letting us get away with it and try to aim for the sky and do the biggest visual things you can possibly do. Okay? So directed by Jenkins, Wonder Woman 1984 stars Gal Gadot and Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, Kirsten Wiig as Barbara Ann Minerva Cheetah, and Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. The film will also be released in select theaters, HBO Max, and Christmas Day. But if you're excited for Wonder Woman 1984, let the website comicbook.com know about yours in the comments. Okay? Alright. So the next article has nothing to do with superheroes, but I'm going to actually find a different set of articles, and I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to try to go to the comicbook.com homepage, and I am going to try to find some awesome articles for me to read to you. Okay, so now since you know what these articles I've been telling you, majority of them are about Star Wars, I'm going to be talking about another hot Star Wars article from yesterday, talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, so Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series gets cheers from style, opening credits, and late show spoofs. Okay, so then sometimes you want to go where nobody knows your name. If you're an exiled Jedi master like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the legendary man himself, Ewan McGregor, the Star Wars series set to follow Kenobi to the desert planet of Tatooine after the events of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, gets an opening credit sequence to this tune of the Cheers theme song. With a spoof from The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, the parody comes following reports the limited series in January will undergo filming in Boston, home to the bar setting of Cheers. Which is kind of funny, though. It's kind of funny. But in the catchy credits to Kenobi, the singer muses about going where everybody has weird names over graphic characters like Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson, Boba Fett, Tamara Morrison. It's there that you won't have to face that friend you maimed, but making reference to their fiery fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, played by the legendary man Hayden Christensen. Okay, so then there's also some Twitter post on this article from The Late Show of Colbert. It says, Kenobi is filming in Boston next month. We have exclusive previews of the opening credits, and you could watch videos on twitter.com. Okay, so the Kenobi series joins with The Mandalorian and Rogue One prequel, following the awesome man known as Cassian Andor by Diego Luna on Disney Plus, where McGregor dons his Jedi robes for the first time since Sith in 2005. Okay, so the storyline as sits between Episode 3 and Episode 4. Okay, so he told Men's Health last year when we last saw Kenobi, the Jedi Order was falling apart. Okay, which is a given, so if you watch the movies you'd understand. So if it will be interesting to take a character we know in a way and show him well in this arc, it will be quite interesting to think, dealing with this fact that all the Jedi were slaughtered with the end of Episode 3, it's quite something to get over. Okay, so now 15 years removed from the end of George Lucas' prequel trilogy, McGregor says he's excited to return to Star Wars under Mandalorian Season 1 director Deborah Chow, and I'm more excited about doing this one than I was doing the second and third one than I did before, McGregor had told Empire earlier this year. And he's just excited about working with Deborah Chow, and his storylines are going to be really good, he thinks. I'm just excited to play him again. It's been long enough since I played him before. So Disney and Lucasfilm may not set a release date for this Kenobi series, but there probably will be a time where there will be a release date. We just don't know when. And when I find out, I'll probably let you guys know, maybe in a future video. So new episodes of Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2 release on Disney Plus on Fridays. If you haven't signed up for Disney Plus yet, you can try it out there. Okay, so I am going to do another article for another bonus, if I can find one, because there is some really hot information in the comic book universe. So I'm just trying to find maybe another thing though. If I could find something about superheroes, that'll be good. Let's see. Okay, this is probably going to be one of the last bonuses that I'm going to be doing in this mega long discussion. So this mega long discussion is going to have this article be the last article I talk about for a bonus. So Wonder Woman new creative team was announced yesterday. Okay, so DC Future State, which I've mentioned in some of my other videos. If you haven't seen my DC Future State videos, you want to check those out because I talked a little bit about them, and you want to kind of figure out like what's all going down with them. So DC Future State is going to shake things up in a huge way when it hits next year, with the changes which will affect all of DC's biggest icons in history. That, of course, including Wonder Woman, who in DC Future State is being represented by two new characters taking up the mantle, Yara Flor and Nubia. The question that becomes that is what happens in those new Wonder Woman and original Wonder Woman once Future State ends. Okay? So, now we have our answer thanks to Future State. Voices of Wonder Woman, panel of Brazil's WC which revealed that Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad will be the book's new creative team via Newsarama. Okay, so following up with number 770 will be the first post-Future State issue of Wonder Woman. Okay, so as announced by the panel, which will have the team that is also bringing Future State, Immortal Wonder Woman to life during the mega event. Okay, so Cloonan and Conrad will be working alongside the legendary artist Travis Moore, who will be handling interiors and covers for the series, and you can see two of these books covers below on comicbook.com. Now I do have to say though, these pictures on this article were very cool. So I just recommend you check them out. But the variant cover to 770 gives us an idea of what to expect from this series once it has returned, and as it features Nubia and Yara Flor, as well as Donna Troy and Cassie Sandsmark, so it seems that every member of the Wonder Woman extended family will have some sort of role to play in the series. Okay, so during this panel, Cloonan said that after the events of Dark Knight's Death Metal and Future State, these series will be full of action and will allow Wonder Woman to have some fun. Okay, so there's another photo below that is very cool. There's a really cool photo on this article below that has it has Wonder Woman, but it has like all these Vikings and like this mountain backdrop. It's really cool. So Conrad also added that longtime fans of Wonder Woman should enjoy this new series, given note that it will be new next year. So Wonder Woman is one of the several books that will keep their Future State creative teams in some way or another after the event comes to a conclusion. A group that includes Swamp Thing, Teen Titans Academy, Green Lantern, Justice League Dark, and Suicide Squad, just to name a few. It remains to be seen that what happens with Superman and Batman, but they'll keep you up to date and posted, and I could probably keep you up to date and posted if you leave a comment down below on my video. Okay, so if you're excited to see the new Wonder Woman creative team, let us know in the comments. Disclosure, this is copyrighted. Comic book is owned by CBS Interactive, a division from Viacom CBS. Okay, so anyway guys, this is a very, 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 very long, mega long video. So I really, really, really hope you learned something from this mega long discussion, and maybe I might do some more mega long discussions in the future. But so currently it is going almost on 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still kind of wide awake, and I'm kind of just buzzing with energy right now. So if you guys like this content, make sure you hit a thumbs up, and if you have comments, please leave comments so I know what you like or what I could change. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe, because I really, really, really much appreciate it. And you guys have a nice day. And I might actually use some more videos throughout the rest of the day, but they'll be at different times though. So alright, so anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.